North Korea has fired a long-range ballistic missile. It is the 12th this year, landing in the sea off Japan. Tokyo has condemned the launch as completely unacceptable. Let's have a listen now to the Japanese Prime Minister, Fumio Kishida. He was speaking earlier about this in Vilnius. He is there, of course, attending the NATO summit.
North Korea has been firing projectiles repeatedly since the beginning of this year, including ICBM-class missiles. The North's actions cannot be condoned as they threaten the peace and security of Japan, the region and the international community. They also violate UN Security Council resolutions. Japan has lodged a protest with Pyongyang.
As well in Seoul, our Asia-Pacific editor Michael Bristow is there.
Flew quite high, which is not unusual for the North Korean missiles. High into the air, about 6,000 kilometers, and fell into the sea between South Korea and Japan. It was in the air for over an hour, and Japan says that's the longest flight time for this kind of missile from North Korea. At the moment, though, we don't know if this is going to be technically or technologically significant, because analysts are still poring over the nature of the launch, and the North Koreans themselves haven't said much about it. They probably will do tomorrow. But an intercontinental ballistic missile in itself is a significant thing because, as the name suggests, it has the ability to travel a long way, and so the Americans are particularly concerned about this kind of missile because, of course, it could potentially reach continental America. Another important development could be the use of solid fuel. North Korea has tested a missile, a long-range missile with solid fuel before, and again it could have done this time. That's important because it allows North Korea more flexibility. It's safer and easier to kind of load onto missiles, and so it gives North Korea more flexibility and makes it harder for South Korea, for Japan, for the United States to detect these missile launches. So that could be another significant development, but we're going to have to wait to see what analysts say and what the North Koreans themselves say about this. For the last couple of years, we've seen quite a lot, dozens and dozens of launches by the North Koreans, artillery shells, short-range missiles, long-range missiles, a whole series of them, and it gives you an indication that they're determined to pursue their weapons and their nuclear weapons programs and their rocket programs into the future. Now, the South Korean president, who's in Vilnius at the NATO summit today, he's meeting the Japanese Prime Minister. He's also meeting other regional leaders, and he's tried to emphasize that what North Korea is doing isn't just a problem for East Asia, it's a problem for the world. So, for example, he's pointed out that these long-range missiles could even reach capitals in Europe as well as continental America. So we're in a phase, as you mentioned there, we do go through phases of periods of mini missile launches and then periods where governments try to come together and talk. South Korean government under the last president certainly pushed forward a more conciliatory point of view, but under the current president, he's got a hardline view towards North Korea. He's looked to shore up the South Korean alliance with America, with Japan, with other regional allies against North Korea. So in a moment of more tension than not.